today we're going to be talking about as the topic says, introduction to synesthesia being alchemy, because I something that has become part of your something I want to make sure I get across to the public in the sense of my understanding of synesthesia and like what synesthesia is all about. First of all, I'm going to give you an introduction about myself first. I'm Weezy. I'm a aspiring psychologist, like my bio says. I've been in the crypto space since 2021, and I'm building a crypto company that's just expert. I'm a writer of Substack, which is the basic. I write about synesthesia, the metaphysical, psychology, philosophy, and in that I use that to in that I use in that I use in that um I use synesthesia. First, I use synesthesia as a way of expressing what synesthesia is in relation to the arcade in the sense of uh synesthesia is just when sensories in the brain actually overlap, meaning your hearing sensations and your sensation overlaps and you have something new. Your visuals and then your taste in overlaps, you have something new. But that is just the psychological aspect of it. But if we should take that psychological aspect and take it deeper into life itself or about what life is all about, as to how the experience we have within ourselves and within cosmos and within various disciplines. And that is what I try to use synesthesia to talk about in how synesthesia is not just um, it should be relegated to psychology, but also should bring it up and it shows just how synesthesia is on a large scale in the sense as well. Alchemy is when you have two elephants come together to pick up something new, or in like if you read the book The Alchemist, and then it's about looking for lead or looking for the philosopher's stone to change, to grow old for one, and the other one is to change the level go. So one is to change that you see it's a combination of two different things that you're bringing things together. So that's just synesthesia too. So why stop it at synesthesia, just the psychology? Why not take it into the total environment to make it global and to make it large scale or to give it a definition that fits everything? As to when you doing your cooking, you're having different elements or different basic things added together to bring about something new. So that is what synesthesia is all about. And and for me, um, this is going to be more. This is going to be an introduction of what I feel or my opinion of snippershare, using it as a broader, using it as a broader perspective to express just how connected we are within ourselves and within the cosmos of life. In the sense of um, the Bible, there is something the Bible tells us about so great a cloud of witnesses. We can use the water cycle. We can use the water cycle as an example to show just the connection to in relationship to synesthesia. Meaning, in the water cycle, we have condensation, precipitation, and then evaporation. Meaning, the water on the sea evaporates and then condenses and then falls back as rain. And in that whole process, all the water in the universe are still the same water that we are using from time immemorial. So the question I would ask each and every one of these, what water are you drinking? Are you drinking water before the ice age or after the ice age? That's the question. Are you drinking the same water that you got from your pee or not? Because if the water is the same, water is not going out of the cup, out of the atmosphere, it's staying and it's going, your pee is goes, everything is just recycling. So I use that recycling moment. I try to express that recycling, just the way it's recycling when it comes to water, it recycles when it comes to air, and it recycles in everything that's with the psychological aspect of life too. Be it with air. So the air is not probably going out, it's still inside within this globe. But in using synesthesia as a way to express that is what I kind of always bring out. Instead of regulating synesthesia as just this small neurological neurology of just saying, okay, then you're having specific or special. Yeah, there are special situations like when you're having sounds, you're hearing they're having sounds and color, meaning you have to see colors that they give it sound. Or probably you're hearing sounds, you're having spatial memories, meaning you have to mark things in your mind, meaning as you're having you are reading or you're having some mathematical or quest you got going on. Or some people are very good with directions too. In the sense of I think everyone is born cynic and we are all synesthetic in our own way. Let's say, okay, young people are very good at marking directions. Let's say you're traveling, then you're looking at you're going to the first place at the first time. And you have the ability to be able to map out the territories of the past and get into where you were when you were. But some people, it's not easy for them to have such experience to be able to map centuries. Not centuries, not centuries, no, or map experience on 3D into your mind. It's just depending on the way people have varieties of different brains. And we are not different from the kind of brain we have in the sense of our brain structure. So everyone has different brain. That means everyone has different synesthetic experience. And synesthesia in mind, that sense, synesthesia in that essence is just what I'm trying to bring about when I say everyone is born cynic, but culture, life, cul- culture, life, environment, and everything that's prone and that's tuned our synesthetic experience. Well, not giving it a name that we should resonate with or we should keep into mind and then say synesthesia. Or we get to look at the specific specialization of various aspects of synesthesia that are easy or more, you could say more nuanced in the sense of it is distinct in the output position, in the sense of like the child, there's a post I made, and in the post, sorry, and there's a post I made, and on the post, um, and on the post there was a child, and this child, um, had he was seeing like a sonographer of a baby. I think he's gonna have a child. His mom was gonna have a new child, so he's seen the sonographer. But in that sonography, he was having new sound. And then having those sound made him like he got feeling very disorganized, meaning he was shouting because he was hearing sound, but the mom could not see it such. And then you're having scientists, and then you're having artists that have come up stage and make their own sound in colors or the way they make music. That is just synesthesia on one aspect of it. And the beauty of that is just okay, that is for the psychological perspective. Now let's take it to alchemy. What is alchemy? Alchemy is when you have two base metals coming to become, you are finding base metal to add lead to become gold. Philosophers told you're trying to make it that then you have immortality that's been used in various movies. Like you're trying to find um the what is made like if you avoid vampires diaries for those who have been into vampires, they were looking for something to make them live forever. And then one also wanted something that will make him be human because wanted to feel human. For me, that is alchemy because you're bringing two things together and you're making something new. And that is what synesthesia is. So you join this correlation, join this relationship between those two. It is easy and it is my opinion. The way of me saying synesthesia is a form of alchemy, or it is alchemy, but you could just call it alchemy, you could call it synesthesia. In disciplines you have, if you mix because you are having various disciplines now, if you mix electricity and magnetism, you have electromagnetism. That's a new form of energy. You're missing you're missing you're missing biology and technology. You have biotechnology. That's synesthesia. You have biochemistry, biology and chemistry, biochemistry. That's synesthesia. They're just mixing. And that is because of this specialization crisis where everyone's trying to find specialization, which is unique. And in specialization, it gets to make everyone out of box. But the world is not boxed up anyway, but it's good to have separate parts. But when you could not underline, you could not, in the sense, take overlook the underlying factor who connects them and what makes it truly divinely for us. And that is what I try to bring out when I talk about synesthesia being alchemy. Not trying to regulate synesthesia just into sensory experiences, but also trying to talk about synesthesia in relation to you and I, everyone on this life, everyone not just on this life, everyone in your family, everyone in where you're meeting, because the tree starts from one seed and one seed gets stuck to a tree, and the trees have different branches and different roots that are filtered going down. So even if you're saying this is synesthesia, one tree, but if you have branches that connect it. And that connection is what I try to bring out when I try to reveal to the public when I say synesthesia. It is a form of alchemy, or synesthesia is alchemy. And that is why I titled this introduction synesthesia as alchemy, because that is basically my entry point to Substack or into the writing, or because it's something that it has not been talked about, and the research is the research is not it still is not as broad as we have fears that are researching. So there's still room to research it. And in adding to this research method, it's just to take a look at yourself. in yourself, you have different personalities that are split between your various types. When you're having different personalities, when you're having your friends, your family, your close friends, your best friend, your lover, and then you're having those other self with probably people of your environment. So if you're having that as a proper word of your environment, then are you going to say you are just one? You are just performing synesthesia because the one, the self is not just one entity. The self is called a combination of various entities. In a sense that you have the soul, you have the spirit, and then you have the body. And in those three, you have different splitting that makes it. And in study of the self, like the soul splits into the body, into the intellect, into the emotions, and then your will. That is synesthesia comes together to make just one soul. And then your body has different. You can talk about how many bones or how many types you take from the upper, the middle, and then the lower. That's three already. So that's synesthesia in one person. So I don't. I so in yeah. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's like I'm not boxing it essentially into just one part perspective. I'm boxing up. I'm giving it ruby fly to have wings, and then we embrace other disciplines. Embrace just showing how it has been in existence, but we just gave it a name that boxes it into the one psychological aspect. But if you remove that box and then put it on the map, or putting on the microscope of things, you see a convergence that it how it interlocks with various things in our lives, with friends, even with the self, because the self is something that in studying the self, when you understand the self, you get to see you like there are some things you do. I'm like, oh wow, did I just do something like that? Did I just do something? Like, what part of me did that? And that's the part of yourself that is mixed with other parts of yourself. That is an extension of just the self. That is, I just broke down myself into various parts now. And in alchemy of the self, because the self also includes on with alchemy, because in the human body, in living and in existence, is synesthetic experience that is a form of alchemy, which is brought out of various type, various skills, and various, various sections of our life that we get one of understanding of it. So once again, it's easy, and it's a pleasure to bring you guys. KG, everyone who just came in, it's not clear. Track producer, just my station. Like such an excellent cooperative companion. Thank you for explaining this. It's my pleasure because I'm looking to learn. I'm looking to learn more about this, and I'm looking to have my understanding and my opinion corroding and sharpened. And I'm looking to have it the edge I have. I'm not as more sharpened so communicating and having these discussions with people like you and everyone that is on this live session. All your background, whatever your conversations with me, your opinions, your thoughts, also help me understand this with the ability to shift my understanding in a way that is more refined and more presentable. So it's a pleasure, not just it's an honor to be here with you guys, and it's also an honor having you guys here with me too. And I don't take it for granted. And just to go back on this, we are having this session now. It's what Daisy just said now. That just sharpened me and had a stage anyway. You are in your place and wherever you're from, probably you are in a part of the world you are in Africa, probably in Europe, probably in Central America, probably in Asia, probably in any part of the world you come together on this platform that is giving us the ability to have a synesthetic experience when it comes to information. That is Alchemy too. So you are able to come to this platform, bringing your own experience or your own ideas and bringing your own propositions, bringing it into this environment, someone else is bringing, and then we have to interact together. And then we have a new set because you don't come up the same way you came in. You came in one way with your one mindset, came in with one ideas, you came in with one thought, but you're coming out with the different thoughts, different ideas, and different sensations and emotions. And understand that is for me, it is synesthesia enough. It is alchemy enough. And it is a pleasure to be able to have this discussion with each and every one of you. And I'm gonna leave a snippet of what I'm gonna be talking about because it's something new. I'm gonna be talking about um um a topic that is in my mind that it is gonna go from it's gonna go cosmogenesis. Because in a video I made I made a video back then when I was talking about mirrors and projections. And in mirrors and projections, I made a statement that I said, until African society, until metaphysical gets acknowledged, until it gets acknowledged in it, put in its proper sense in public, psychology and philosophy will not have this basic ground because of the synesthetic experience of a form of alchemy that comes with it. It makes it go together. That is something I'm going to touch on subsequent episodes of this. For those who are going to be joining in, we definitely have to have those discussions and we're going to have such topics to talk about. I'm pumped up for because I might not know everything. I don't know everything. What do I know? I'm just learning. It's definitely something that I'm going to leave. And then I'm going to just bring my ideas, bring my thoughts, bring what I've been able to comprehend from my studies and from my learning and from my little experience on this planet. And then I'm going to bring it out. And I hope to be able to get more people who are going to discuss, have such discussions with me because we are in that stage right now where I believe, as much as we want to talk about it, it's something to always have that ground because we having a proper foundation there. There's something say when you read a house on the rock and what type of wind, what type of storm, it might come and blow it. It tries to blow it, but it doesn't. Or when the foundation is not on the rock, but it is on the sand surface, then the wind comes, it just blows that thing falls. So in having that understanding with the physical psychology and then philosophy as a proper grounding, and then you have and then it could leave the scientific experience that is at the apex of it, reveal itself in a way that is comprehensible, that is comprehensive, that is able to be translated into something beautiful and magical. So that is something that I'm going to touch as we go. We try to have such sessions. I'm going to do my best. But first of all, today, I want to appreciate each and every one of you that took the time to come. It's a pleasure having each and every one of you here. And I want to go back to the topic of today that says synesthesia is a form of alchemy, in the sense that alchemy is just when two these elements come together, don't think about it, these elements, let's go, refining gold to lead. And then in alchemy, in cooking, in alchemy, in your coffee, in alchemy, even in when you're having, you're mixing two different kind of ice cream, vanilla and you're making vanilla and chocolate. That's in the station. You just give it a new taste. But you might not know because if you, for those who are following my videos, I like to say something. I say on the basic of the one things when you're walking, when you're talking, like me talking now to you, I'm walking now, and then walking, talking, even going using the restroom. They have become so normal for us. They have become so common. They have become so usual that we don't understand the inner workings behind them. And when you understand the inner workings behind them, it's just this simple movement that I just did of lifting my hands up, the muscles, the contractions, the tractions I have to go to just doing that. If you could know it, then you will appreciate me just being a human being. So in that, in that form is what I always try to bring up when I talk about synesthesia, when I talk about alchemy. Because in understanding in there, you get to appreciate those minute or little things we see or little things that we do on a daily basis. That was most of the time we might think is mundane or we might think it's just normal or common. But in retrospect, but in sitting down and pondering upon it, you do understand, wow, it's actually a privilege, not just a privilege, it's also amazing to have the awareness of it and to have the thought process. First, yeah, the thought process to be able to say, wow, I'm actually have the ability to do this. So for me, synesthesia is something that I've encountered. Alchemy is something that actually not just because of what it is, but what it encompasses in its totality in between ourselves, within just myself, me, myself, and I to say, and then you, and you, yours, and you, because you are just a various you have various personalities put into one, giving us of the self. But in that experience is how can we never experience this synesthesia. So life itself is how can living it how can living it synesthetic. Life is synesthetic. So I like to always bring that to the public. I like to express that properly. And um what I just want to add to this is that you have various kind of synesthesia, you have chromasthesia, you have spatial synesthesia. Those are just the names because when it's given a name, then and it gets easy to have it in a section. So you have synesthesia, you have gramophone synesthesia, then you have mirror touch synesthesia, you have spatial memory, that's spatial synesthesia, meaning you 3D, you're having your thoughts idealized in 3D meanings, but some people have this kind of mind. And then you have to see color synesthesia, that you have seen color in sound, you're seeing color in you're seeing color in music, and then you're seeing sound and color too. Those are the form of synesthesia. And like the example I made in the last video, why you have a memory, a very, very special memory, and you just begin to tear feel. And the question I pose to ask is why do people not feel the same way you feel? Why is it that when you have a memory and you look back on those memories, people don't have the same feeling that it's making you teary, but you're teary, but others don't even have that. But to other same people, it could be another the experience that gives them the teary eyes. That goes back to the brain, the way the brain is is made up of everyone having various different brain thoughts, and we're not different from our brain. And the more we try to unprocess it, and the more we try to understand our brain, the more we get to be able to appreciate not just ourselves, but with the people we get to turn to it. And we get to appreciate you as a fellow human being. That's why I say in meditation, I try to connect not just myself, everybody, and then across disciplines. And then appreciation breeds empathy. Empathy brings compassion. When compassion then evaluates, and then it makes living, it makes life, it makes life more beautiful, it makes living like, and in this world or existing actually. So, any before I give a closing call, I just want to, because for those who have joined, it's a pleasure having you. You know, for those who took the time to join in, I appreciate everyone joining in. I want to say it's a pleasure, it's an honor. And to just round it up, I'm going to say I'll be definitely just do my best to be able to bring out this what I talk about when I talk the beginning, because I wrote a little about it already on my website. I'm going to talk about it. I'm also going to be able to allow conversations or questions or anything so I can give my thoughts, learn from you guys as much as I learn from myself and from everybody so we can chat. Yeah. So once again, synesthesia is a form of alchemy. Alchemy is synesthesia, and the beauty of synesthesia and the beauty of alchemy. It's what I want to use to say. It's a beauty. It's beauty in that beauty. That's where we have love, we have beauty, we have compassion, we have beauty, we have the empathy towards ourselves and towards the cosmos and towards everybody that lives. But we're all connected. The sensation shows that connection. And like I just pointed out, in the form of how basically most of the things we are doing actually shows this connection in the synesthetic or alchemy, or the common synesthetic experience or a form of alchemy. And doing that, telling that we brought ourselves, we get to appreciate more, and we get to live like that and use that in everything we do as much as we can. Because it's not easy, but something we learn and we adopt and we put into practice. Do our best to make sure that going forward we didn't be able to use it properly. So I'm going to be rounding up in a few minutes, but um, before I do, once again, I want to appreciate each and every one of you that joined me for this hobby. And so I just try to spread the word of Synesthesia. We try to spread the word of how it's alchemy. I try to bring it out of the box of food. I use it to show how it's eaten in everything we do. I try to get it across so that it could be something that reminds you of just the question of eyes us. That's like someone said eyes us. You is I is us. So in that feeling of synesthesia of marketing, then we will try our experience and we will try feeling of being a human being put on this planet Earth. It's actually more it's actually more beautiful. So I'm running up now because of times that has things to do with our time, probably have something else to do. But if there's any questions, feel free to leave in comments, feel free to leave in the chat box. I'll definitely do my best to get across the it. Well, if there's any other thing we could talk about, if there's any other thing we have to discuss, we'll definitely be holding it down. But stay tuned and stay tuned for more episodes, for more streams like this, where we're going to be talking about cosmic genesis. Because in understanding cosmic genesis, then we move to Genesis. And then after we move to Genesis, then we see just how synesthesia has actually been the the what has made humans evolve to what they are now, or in form of alchemy, or in form of synesthesia, any way you want to call it, or any way you want to put it. But in using that, my understanding and will put it out. And I hope in doing that, I get to learn too. I get to have such conversations with you guys. So wishing each and every one of you a beautiful day, wishing each and every one of you a good time, a beautiful year, because you just started. This is the first Tuesday. This is first Tuesday of the year. So it's a pleasure to be here with you guys on the first Tuesday of the year. Wishing each and every one of you a beautiful day, a beautiful year, a beautiful evening, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. So if you want to have a come to the room, reach the chat, you on Substack, if you on IG, if you follow with X, definitely if you follow, we definitely keep in touch. As we definitely try to have more connections and have just sessions together, we're able to get to connect with each other and have a beautiful time together. Wishing each and everyone a beautiful night and a beautiful year. Bye for now.